This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey, it's Christina.
Hey, it's Jen.
Hey, it's Kate.
Real Estate Misfit Moms.
Real Estate Misfit Moms. We're back in the studio today.
I feel like it's been a while.
Has been a while. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Hot, but it's been cold out, so.
right? There's that.
It's pretty chilly in Texas.
So one of the things that I think is an interesting topic, Waco is known as being pretty cliquey. There's all the mini cliques within the cliques and the cliques that click and the cliques that don't click.
Yeah.
And being somebody who isn't from here, finding your clique is really hard.
It still is hard. I've been here a long time. I've been here 8 years. Still.
Yeah. Been here 8 years.
I'm struggling still to find a
Click that clicks?
Yeah. Where I belong. And I think that too because like legitimately I saw a post this morning on Facebook where everybody went to something and I was like, I know a lot of those people. I talked to a lot of those people. Why didn't I get invited to that? Like, what did I do wrong to not be in that clique crew? Can I join? Actually, I don't think I want to, but
At least
But
be
still.
invited.
can I be invited?
Right.
Yeah. So I think, and that is Theo's
Yeah, that's his
period
take.
on the statement. I think what's so interesting is like where I'm from, networking is such a huge thing. Like that's what you do. You go to networking events, you go to these networking happy hours, you go to these like very invite only like growth kind of like networking things where they have like a high end speaker come and whatever. And I think it's really interesting that that's not a thing here. Like networking is not a thing here, not in the same
perspective
and way. Like I think our association tries to do these networking events. To me, that's a fail. Like I personally think that it's stupid to get a bunch of just the realtors together to go and have some beers together. Like I think that's weird. I don't think that's not efficient networking. That's not getting Jen more business, you more business, me more business. That's just me I could just go have a beer with Jen and be like, okay, like let's go have a beer and hang out.
And it's like at those events too, there's certain people, affiliates being, if you don't know what an affiliate is for real estate, is like a lender, a title company, a home inspector, a pest inspector, insurance people, like all these people, they're considered affiliates. We already know them. We already use them. You go, you meet them, but then after the first time they meet you, I mean, you're an affiliate.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Now we've met.
Well, and it's like
what are you doing for me?
Well, and it's also like the sponsorship, right? Like they get the title company to be the title sponsor of that event just because the association doesn't want to pay for it. And like to me, I'm like that's not effective. Like to me, that's like bring in someone of value. Like we talk about our value. Bring in someone of value. Bring in someone that is a not even like a real estate industry coach, just a business coach. Bring in someone that is truly like a specialist in something that brings value where they can have a 15-minute platform and then yes, we're all just hanging out, networking, whatever, but like don't close it off. Like one of the biggest things that I felt was a good thing and a bad thing was I went to TRLP, which is a real estate thing. It's 8 months long. It's a long dedication, but you go to there's only 2 or 3 per association. And so
Waco gets 4 because the application process just came out today. So we get 4.
And so it must have gone up because it was only 2 when I did it. And it is a unique process. You have to get selected. It's not like I pay for it, I get it. You have to be selected. But what I loved about it is that I made lasting connections and friendships and referrals from that because it's 8 months and there's only one that's in your association. You're with these group of people for 8 months. You see them once a month. You have to do these activities. You go to all the different associations. That's networking. And so what's interesting to me is like that Waco doesn't have that and that people feel threatened within their own field.
Yes.
100%. And more so, also,
So, if it's okay with you guys, for some reason the technology does not want to cooperate.
That's okay.
I'll watch in and I'll just kind of, if I'm giving you one, I can just kind of.
Yeah, that's good.
30-minute cue if that'll work.
Perfect.
yeah. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's
No,
okay.
you're good.
Then, whenever y'all are ready.
Okay. Oh my God.
Was this whole thing not recorded?
I don't know. Hey, can you come back in here? I have a question. Were you recording us while we were talking a minute ago?
Yes, but I can delete.
No, we want
No,
all
we
that.
want all
before.
that. We thought that
We
you
were like,
saying-
oh my God, no.
No, I
Okay.
had everything rolling.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Just
Thank
cut
you.
this. Cut
Yeah,
this
we
spot.
can we'll just cut me.
Okay.
We were like,
oh.
we were like, oh God, they didn't get any of that. That was good.
Yeah.
We were all
Okay, good.
okay, good.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness. But I agree with you where we are in a place where everyone is so fearful. I am currently helping teach a class within my brokerage about social media, like about using Canva. And so I have had the same conversation twice that like we can all use Canva. We can all use the same template. We're all different people. Because like we all have different specialties.
Right.
We all have different people. Like
Different audiences.
the audiences are 100% different. And I've told so many agents in my office, I co-work with an agent not in my office. I co-work more with someone who is not with under my same brokerage than anybody within my brokerage.
right.
There's no reason to it.
And there's nothing wrong with that's
No.
okay.
And I love it.
It's completely okay. And that's the odd thing to me.
Well,
Lenders, I feel like, are just,
Oh,
it's so bad.
I don't know what's cattier, realtors or lenders.
I don't know either because
But I think it's if I have to speak honestly, I think it's lenders because
I
one
feel
leaves,
like
one leaves somewhere
yes.
and somebody falls into their place and they're like, oh, hey, come on. Come.
Yes.
I was already there with this other lender, but I like that lender, so my loyalty is to that person, not that company.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
And you're seeing that right now with big changes that are happening
Yes.
within the industry.
Yes.
There's a lot of people jumping
What-
currently.
I remember Kate telling me a story one time about a lender she used to work with, and that when she left the company, her boss, the branch manager, literally came to Kate and was like, just so you know, all these negative things.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Who
what?
does that?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
All these things.
And here's the thing. So I've been in the business since before I could buy beer, which has been a while. Anyway, so there's a lot of people in town I have physically worked with before, many of them. And, you know, I've seen some of them in some pretty rough situations in both ways. But the point of it is, you know, sometimes another lender is more versed in something. Maybe they do something more often. Or why can't I say, hey, Joe, I know that you closed blah, blah, blah. Can you tell me this? You know, why is that not okay?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I very often, there's an online Facebook group of lenders that are all around the world, probably America. But anyway, I feel more confident going there and asking some question, and I'll say, I know I should probably know this, but it's been a while.
yeah.
And nobody judges me and answers.
But you'll
No-
be judged in your community
Yes.
because, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But I think it's like a different thing too because like we have all these groups here where people ask all these questions, real estate groups, mortgage groups.
Right.
We all ask them. But I see more people from our community posting in the national groups asking
Right.
questions because they're more comfortable thinking, oh, somebody's not going to see it. We all see it.
Right.
It's
We're
there.
all part of that group.
If you're my friend on social media and you post in a group I'm in, I see it. It pops up.
Yep.
I'm going to see it regardless of where you posted it.
Or I'm going to see your comment
Yes.
that you posted on somebody else's post.
Yes.
Right.
So, like, why is it such a big deal?
Yes.
Yeah.
I literally don't, I don't get it. But I've never understood it.
I think that there was definitely a time, especially like when you and I first got here, where
Yeah.
like business was getting stolen left and right.
Yes.
And that's a major ethics violation. Like if you have a signed agreement with somebody, if I have a signed agreement with Bob, and then I tell Jen, I'm working with Bob. I'm having this issue, whatever. And then Jen calls Bob and says, Kate sucks. Work with me.
Yeah.
That's an ethics violation. I could turn her
I would
in.
never do that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Because Bob sucks.
But, you know, I feel like that is something that is hard in this community.
Yeah.
That's, you know,
Yes.
it's not often that I can call, I can think on like one hand and not even all 5 fingers, agents in this town that I could call and say, I need your opinion.
Right.
I'm second guessing myself. Help me with this.
Yep.
I've never done a loan like this. Have you had any experience with this?
Yes.
And I like those types of questions. It's like, you don't want to come off as dumb, but I also, where else are you supposed to go for the answers?
Because sometimes your broker is not available.
right.
The person that you're supposed to call when you have these questions isn't available, or they're going to explain it in such a legal way of words. Well, I'm going to need you to dumb it down. We all know that I'm a dummy. Not really a dummy, but I need it dumbed down, you know?
Right.
Like,
Because
I
you're
wanna
not going
hear
to
it-
explain it to your client that way
exactly.
either.
How can I turn around and be like, oh, this is how this works? You know, and so with that statement, there was a time very recently where I had to actually call my broker with my clients on the phone so I could get an opinion because I didn't know what else to do.
Right.
And if she wasn't going to answer, which I was thankful that she did, Kate would have been my call.
Yeah.
With my clients on the phone. She would have been my call because I trust Kate. There, like with Kate, there are not many that I would be like willingly, willy-nilly, everything.
Right.
Can
Yeah.
you, I would be like, could you call them? Can I listen? Can you talk? 100%. That's what I would do because I trust her and we don't even work together.
Right.
But we co-work.
And that should be okay.
but we are not under the same umbrella.
Yes. And I think that should be more okay because, I mean, the truth of it is when it comes to properties, sometimes you don't run across a certain type of property except for once every 5 years or whatever it may be. And so maybe I just saw where Joe did.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't it be great if I could say, hey, Joe,
Yeah.
how'd you fix this? How'd you fix that? And I think that should be okay but I also personally feel like generally we do it to ourselves.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm not saying you, me, whatever. And
in general.
in general, we do it to ourselves because, you know, lenders tend to be like, oh, you're working with Joe? You know, he did blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or, you know, they do that about realtors. And I think that we need to more have the mindset of there's plenty.
There really is.
There is
There is
more than
plenty of
enough.
business to go around for everyone. And if you are scrounging at the bottom to try and take somebody else's business or bad mouthing them because you are not in the position to where you feel secure, the problem is you.
Yes.
It is nobody
100%.
else. It is not the market. It is nothing. Because there was a time where our market was hard.
Right.
It was hard just recently. We all went through it down. Every single person. Last year was a super hard year. But I had never seen so many backstabbings like I did last year. But what that did was it brought us through together
That's also true.
because we all had a conversation that led us here, but it led us to let's co-work.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's meet for coffee because we all wanted out of our house. We all wanted to do this. It was almost like COVID again, but not.
Right.
'Cause you could go places.
Well, it was like, I need to bounce ideas off somebody. I need to get out
Yes.
of my brain. I need someone
Yeah.
to tell me what I'm doing that
Like
I could be doing better.
Like
Right.
on my listing where I said, I don't know what else to do. It's under market. The value's low. Like, what do I do? Can you run numbers? And you literally looked at me and said, why don't you do a rate buy down? Why don't you offer an incentive? And I was like, genius. First of all, I never thought to do that ever.
Right.
And then I got lucky you were there and you're like, yeah, let's do it. We can do it.
Right.
To where it was like all an educational purpose because everybody's brain is different.
And never once did anybody think Jen's an idiot.
No.
You know what I mean? Because
Sometimes you get so stuck in that circle of
Right.
like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I'm spinning my wheels. I don't know what to do. Someone just to be like, hey, Like, hamster on the wheel, slow down,
Yeah.
Right.
do this, and it's just look at it differently.
A new mindset.
Yeah.
Because there is enough success. I can't even like say that enough. There is enough success for everyone. There is enough for everyone. Yes, Waco is saturated
Yes.
in
Beyond.
realtors.
Yes.
Yes, they are saturated in lenders.
Yes.
But there is enough for everyone
Mm-hmm.
Right.
because this is a hot commodity place.
Right.
Well, and it's also like, should you be looking at social media, Facebook, whatever, because we know that it's like, I mean, we're the worst. Like, lenders, realtors, we're the worst. We are flies to shit. We see that low-hanging fruit.
No. I'm not a fly to shit.
Well, in general. It's just like, you see that post, and in like nanoseconds, there's 450 posts.
I will never comment myself.
No, if someone tags me, I will respond.
Right.
But my response is, thanks so much. Please let me know if there's anything I can do.
And mine is usually like, thanks so much, you're so sweet. It's usually past client.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Right.
much, you're so sweet for referring me. I always tell people, I recommend you talk to 3.
Yes.
And people do not know that, like, our education, our background is public. Like, you can look up our license number and see how much education we take and see how long we've been an agent.
Yep.
Disciplinary actions. You can see all of that. It's all public information. None of that's hidden.
Right.
And I think that people don't recognize that. And it's all, word of mouth is great, but it has to be the right word of mouth. Yeah. And when you're making one of the biggest financial decisions, even though you might go to social media because that's going to be your quickest response,
right,
you still have to do your research into who was referred to you. I didn't know this. Christina taught me this, that you can, the same thing like agents, you can look up LOs, find out how long they've been an LO.
Where they've worked. How long.
You can't see where we've worked. You can see where we currently work. You can't see our past. But you can with LOs. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I had no idea.
Which, I mean, like, is cool.
Yeah, but it's good to know, if you're looking at a lender and they've only been in the business for a year, but they've worked in 3 different, loan houses or whatever, you're like, oh, but why?
Right. Yeah.
Can you tell me why you made that switch? And some of it is like, well, I worked at a bank got bought out, then they sold to so-and-so.
Things happen, but
it's good to know.
But there are some that just bounce.
I feel like there's probably a handful of names that if somebody says, that's the first thing that comes to your mind is that's a realtor that's been to 15 different brokerages, or that's a lender that, oh, is she over there now? Last week she was over here. And so, there's a reason.
And it's not a bad thing. Some people might just, like, they got to find their groove. But, like, I'm the person that, like, I stick where I'm at. Like, once I left my first place as an assistant, I've been at Bentwood since. Like, that's where I've been.
Right.
It's where I'm at. I have no thought of moving.
Right.
And then one of my lenders, I use you. I don't use you as often as I probably should.
And also,
in
that's
reality.
okay.
Yeah. But the lender I have used for so long she just left her current company and had been at that first company for 10 years. Like, okay, why you leave?
Right.
Personal. Okay, cool. I'm down for it.
Right.
Whatever you want.
Things happen, and
They
that's
really
okay.
do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it needs, and like, you bring up a good point. So I am completely confident and okay with the fact that every single transaction that Kate and Jen close is not with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Kate will call me and she'll be like, okay, I've got this deal. Will you help me? I'm trying to add these numbers together, whatever. And it never crosses my mind.
Who's the lender?
Who's the lender?
I
Why the hell are you with them? What are you doing?
Well, and I don't think you've ever asked that because that's not the point.
No.
It's like you've called me and been like, tell me why this would happen in the deal, like on your end. Because we're very much, I think all 3 of us are very much like, this is my lane. I'm staying in my lane.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put my blinker on because I want to see what's going on in the other lane, but I'm not changing lanes.
Right.
And the other thing, too, is, like, a lot of times, as a realtor, we have to give 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're in my 3. I don't pick them.
Right.
And so I have thought about it a lot. Like, when I have a question and I want to call you, I won't call you.
Why?
Because I I'm not using you, so I feel terrible.
No.
I know, but that's how I feel.
Yes.
So I'm like,
Well, that's because that's how
shit,
society.
I can't call Christina.
Yes.
Ugh.
That's how society
Yeah.
has made you feel.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And I think I think it's our area. 'Cause
Yes.
I will say I don't work just the Waco market.
Right.
I work in Temple Belton. I work like, just south of Dallas. I work a lot of the exterior areas. My territory is pretty big. And I don't get that feeling as much especially like when I work Temple and Belton. And some people have the opposite feeling. But I will tell you that when I work Temple and Belton, I feel like the level of professionalism with those agents in that area is higher than it is in Waco.
It is. And I work it just a little bit. I've worked it just a little bit for several years. And when people say they're doing a deal there, I'm like, okay, they're so rude. I'm like, no, you're just not used to people who are
Professional.
who are
putting you in
professional, who are intelligent with their responses because they have formed themselves and taught themselves how to be the best of the best.
And I think that board does, like, everybody that's in Syntex, it's multiple boards. Like, Waco is just Waco.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there's multiple boards in Syntex, and I think those boards do a really good job of putting out education that is beyond what gives you a designation, beyond our CE hours. They do a lot of professional stuff and industry training stuff where it's helping us better understand the market. And they bring in a lot of, like, the locals. Like, there's a bunch of people that don't recognize that there's going to be an off-ramp right in Troy that's going to curl right around Troy from 35. And they brought in, like, from Temple, they brought in one of the planning and zoning
Interesting.
people and talked about it, showed them where it was going to be, because that all affects the real estate.
Exactly.
And I will tell you, calling the city of Waco versus calling city of Temple or city of Belton for getting help, vastly different. Vastly.
And I don't understand why.
I don't either.
Interesting.
And I don't think we ever will. And maybe it's just because we live here and that's how we feel. But, like, why is it so hard here?
Yeah.
When
We all have the same goals.
Well, and Waco it definitely has this, like, movement of, we're a small town, we're all about community, and I think we have some really good aspects of that. But when you, in the professional realm of Waco, I think that's where we lack that. I think we come together to help support local businesses. We have farmers markets. We have a lot to help, a lot of churches that help homeless people, since we have so many below the poverty line. We have a lot of those things where the community does really rally together.
Yes.
But I think the community engagement is great, but I think the community professionalism and willing to, work with somebody else is not as easy as I feel like it should be.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I think that's why, my opinion is I can't change what you do, but I can change the way I do things. And I will always tell people. So I had somebody I got pre-approved, and I handed it off to a realtor. Within the first week, the realtor called me and said, hey, just so you know, they're going to buy a new build, and so they're going to go with this other lender because of an incentive. Did I start with the customer? Yes, whatever. I mean, anyway, my first thought was, if that's what's best for you financially to go over here, 100% do it.
Yeah.
But I picked up the phone and I called her, and you could tell she was hesitant, and I said, listen, you do what is best for you. But promise me, please promise me, no matter what, use me as a resource. I don't understand this. I can't get somebody on the phone. Can you explain this to me? Is this right? Is this wrong? Like, and that's okay. Like, I never, because I got into the business, I remember sitting at the closing table going, what the hell just happened? And so I think that as realtors, as lenders, it's our job to, educate.
Yeah.
And so, and that's why it's completely okay with me. Cause I mean, I have many times people have called me and said, listen, you're not the lender, but can you help me? I'm not dumb enough to think that I should be the lender on every deal in the world. Number one, I don't have that much time. You know,
I'm a little busy.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if you were the agent on every single deal that closed in Waco, Texas?
Ugh.
You wouldn't have time to shower.
But I also like with that statement, I don't want all of them.
no,
Because I have never fired a client.
hmm
Knock on wood, but not because I don't want to. I haven't had a reason really. Are there some where I wish like towards the end I could walk away and be like, peace out, like
Right.
I don't even want to be paid today? Yes. That, I mean, the one I did for 2.5 years, I was like, oh, call me when it closes because this is a hot mess. There ain't
Yeah.
nothing else for me to do. Yes, but I lost my whole train of thought when that kicked on.
winning.
I know.
We're not,
But I don't want all them. I don't
No.
want. There it is. I don't want it all.
No, you're not for everybody.
No.
I'm not. I'm definitely not for everybody.
I have learned that
And that's
I'm
okay.
transparent enough to let someone know up front that I have a family.
Yes.
I am a dance director. My Tuesday nights are gone. Sorry. And that you're not going to push me around to get your house on the market. I'm going to give you a time frame
right.
because I am a busy person. I have a life
That's
too.
okay.
And we have this cool podcast, so I
Yes.
have to make time for this too.
Yeah. Well, and I just think that it's so interesting because I really do feel like I become successful in my business when I can talk to like-minded people, and your like-minded people often are people that are in or surrounding your field. And it's so interesting because I feel like I should be able to call somebody and say, hey, you know, I'm struggling with Canva. I need you to help me with Canva.
Right.
And not have that be something that is like
A negative.
a negative, or like I'm threatening your business, or I'm trying to steal your stuff
Yes.
or whatever. My proprietary stuff, my proprietary listing presentation, Breyer's presentation, you know, my onboarding, that's all different. But when it comes to like, hey, even if it is that, I'm not expecting you to steal it, but like sometimes I'll be like, hey, I need help with this page. Like I'm not
Yeah.
formatting it right or whatever. But I should be able to go to you and be like, hey, I want to get better at doing whatever, client pop buys, and you're really great at that. Can you tell me a little bit about how you started without you feeling like, oh shit, Kate's going to take all my business.
Right.
She's going to do the same thing I'm doing.
Shouldn't be a battle.
And it's not.
But even if we did the same exact thing, your clients are different than my clients.
Right. And
My
it's just,
clients are different than
Knowledge
your
is
clients.
power.
I say that all the time.
It is.
do, 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 do.
Literally, I say knowledge is power to a majority of my clients. They're like,
Yes.
I don't want to say that. Well, knowledge is power, so
It
let's
is.
use it.
Yes.
Like,
And I tell people the same thing that you said. Let me be your resource. Let me be
Yes.
a resource to you. No question is stupid.
Nope.
Even
Nope.
if you ask it 3 times, it's not
I might
stupid.
under my breath go, God, again. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
But yes, but I mean, it's just like if you don't educate them,
They will never learn.
they will never learn, and it will be your fault when something comes back because of it.
And it will also be, I hear it more often than not, you are nothing like my last realtor.
Yes, I hear that too.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
you're using me for a reason, so I hope I'm not like them, or you
Yeah,
wouldn't be
right.
using me.
Yes.
Like, I'm never gonna ask you, why aren't you using your last realtor? That
You
is none
just-
of my damn business.
you just had that happen to you yesterday. You called me because you had the best conversation
Uh-huh.
and it was the boost you needed, but you had
Yes.
the best conversation that you've ever had. And it was all based off a phone call that you didn't want to make.
Yes. Because
Yep.
of you.
Well, no, because you
Yes.
picked up the phone.
No, because you said do it, and I said okay, and I got nervous, and it was very nice.
And that's part of it though.
But I never would have done that without co-working with Kate. Like, never.
And that's what and the thing of it is in the big picture, you guys are competitors.
Yeah.
In the big picture, you are. But do we have to be? I don't think we do.
I honestly, like, I personally don't know, but I don't think I've ever gone up against Kate for a
Right.
listing.
I don't think so.
Because we are vastly different.
Right.
Well,
and
In that sense, we have a same like mind brain, but we are vastly,
And we're very blunt.
yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like we are competitors for sure, but I don't know that we compete in the same way that other agents do.
Yeah.
I don't know that we compete in that way. Just, like just like, if I know that my buyer is using you and getting a quote from somebody else, I let both lenders know, hey, not that you can't see it because you can.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, I know that they're price shopping. And not to make you try and beat
Right.
the pricing,
No.
but because when buyers come and talk to you, what they're telling me, I can't necessarily tell you, but then you know where that question's coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
And my personal opinion is, if you are a buyer and you're talking to more than one, you're educating yourself better anyway. And the truth of it is if you don't know what realtor, what lender you're supposed to use, until you have those conversations, how will you know? And my personal opinion is you need to be able to feel comfortable enough to ask me the stupid questions, to, all the things. And that's what I always tell people. Call people, talk to them. You want somebody that you can send what you think is a dumb question or a dumb phone call question and feel okay with it.
Yeah.
It's all personal preference.
I also think with that, going on that statement too, that like as a realtor, like I feel like there are some realtors that I can call and ask the stupid questions. I had another agent call me a couple weeks ago, and she was like, I need help. I haven't talked to this agent in years. I need help. And you're the only one that's brain is working the same as mine.
And that's okay.
And I need to see the numbers because my numbers are here. My client's numbers are over here. Where are your numbers? So I ran them. I called her right back. She said, yep, thought so. Our brains were aligning the same. But I hadn't spoken to her. She was like, I hate to ask you this. So I was like, I will help you anytime. I will help anybody anytime.
Yes.
But that's my personality trait.
Yes.
Right.
I'm a fixer. I'm a helper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want people to be successful. I don't care who you're with. I don't care who you are. I want you to be successful.
I want to surround myself with people that want success for themselves. And I want to surround myself with women that not only empower me to be better.
Yes.
And don't let me be complacent, but I can share in their successes.
Yes.
Like when you called me yesterday, I was over the moon for you.
Yeah.
When you've called me before and you're like, I finally remember that deal that was this hard and all these things happened. Sometimes they're my deals and we like high five. A lot of them are my deals. But I want to share that success because that makes me feel so good. I never am like, I never turn around and I'm like, well, now I'm failing because that person succeeded. I want to I want to like bathe in your success.
I want to celebrate you.
I am so happy for
Right.
you.
Maybe I haven't had success in a week or 6 or months or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So it'd be great if I heard about everybody else's greatness.
Yeah, I mean, with yesterday, I literally called her, and I think it's because she has been on this journey with this client since the beginning, because this is the client I made the call of that I didn't want to make, right? And we are here, we're under contract now, and I went to get all the staging stuff out, and I just looked at him, and I was like, how do you feel? He was like, I'm proud of you. And I was like, what?
Aww.
He is an older man who lives alone with his dog. And I'm not his first realtor,
Right.
and so to hear that, where he had every conversation we had was very pessimistic, like, we'll see. Well, I'm like, every text, you're going to need to get some optimism in your life, buddy, because we ain't being pessimistic today. Come on.
Yeah.
Move on. And so for him to finally tell me he was proud of me, I was like, it's like my dad telling me he's proud of me.
Yeah.
And I told him that. I was like, it's like hearing my dad tell me he's proud of me.
Well, and it's hard for your type of personality because you're a people pleaser.
Yeah.
So like
I
when
am.
she walked in, I was with her to do the staging walkthrough, and he made it very known he was expecting failure. He did not think that she
I
was
remember
going
you
to
guys
do
talking
it.
about it. Yeah.
And when we walked out, I said, just know that crotchety old men are some of my favorite clients.
Yes.
Favorite clients. And it's one of our clients, Russell.
I know, that's where my mind went.
Literally, he looked me dead in the face and said, I am probably not going to buy a house with you. I am in no rush to buy a house. I do not want to buy a house. I'm like, cool.
Did he buy a house?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely bought a house.
I love that.
And he and then from then on, it was like, then they referred his mother-in-law to me. And it's like, but I changed his mind because I was there for him the whole time. When he was crotchety, I was like, you in a bad mood today, Russell?
Yeah.
And he was one of the first people that recognized I was pregnant. Because he was like, did a double take and he's like, are you fat or pregnant? And I was like, pregnant.
Yes.
Oh my God, no.
Yes. And his wife was like, Russell. And I was like, it's fine. But like, he was a crotchety, angry old man.
Yes.
Because he had been failed, did not trust realtors, felt failed in the background. But I said to you, when we walked out from staging, I said, he will turn around when you get this sold and he will love you and refer you to everybody.
Yep. And that's
He
the
knew
truth.
exactly how many days it took.
Interesting.
Yes. And said, I have already given your name to a couple other people. I'm like, thanks. You know, we still have to get to closing,
Right.
which is in a few weeks, but like, pretty excited to
Right.
celebrate this old man.
You've gotten him this far.
Yeah.
And
So-
it's okay to be proud of others.
Oh,
You
God.
should be.
100%.
You should be.
I feel
Because
like I have a booger in my nose.
you don't. You're good.
It's probably your nose ring.
Shut up. Okay.
So if you are in this business and you have questions or you need help from a lender, I am always here.
Let us be your resource.
Yeah. Yes.
Ask us the questions.
If you're not in this business, just remember your community's always there for you. There's
Yes.
not an ounce of the community that isn't behind you. You just have to look. Open your eyes and see,
You will find it.
because you will fit in.
Yep. You will always fit in with us.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
This has been Real Estate Misfit Moms. Don't forget to follow us on socials at Real Estate Misfit Moms and bookmark our podcast so you never miss an episode. Remember, miss, you fit in here.
This has been a Rogue Media Network